Hello everyone, welcome to the Scumdog's Kennel. I'm your host, Chris Williams, and in today's Cryptid Corner mini-episode, I have two very bizarre stories with unknown animal creatures, folks. One, some bizarre, unknown canine cat-like entity, and a full-on werewolf was seen crossing the road. Let's get into the first article. Strange canine feline encounter near Murphy, North Carolina raises unanswered questions. And you're exactly what was witnessed, folks. In October 2006, a long-time mountain resident reported a brief but unforgettable encounter near his home outside Murphy, North Carolina. The sighting occurred at dusk along a dense forest edge and involved an animal that defied conventional identification. Nearly 2 decades later, the details remain vivid, prompting renewed consideration of similar Appalachian reports. I received the report after my appearance on Coast to Coast AM. Let's read the actual story now, folks, and hear this man's account. The witness explained that the encounter took place shortly after he and his wife relocated to a remote mountain community in western North Carolina. At the time, the development was sparsely populated, and during the first few winters, they were the only full-time residents, with neighboring homeowners absent for the season. The property bordered roughly 50 acres of thick woodland, beginning approximately 50 feet from the house. On the evening of the incident, near dusk, the witness stepped outside and began walking toward the forest edge. Without warning, an unfamiliar animal emerged from the woods and stopped at an estimated distance of 30 feet. Now, as you can see from basically the title of the article, folks, this creature resembled both a canine and a cat, folks, at least to some degree. It could be that this is maybe animal that escaped from some sort of pen, from some sort of maybe illegal animal trade, perhaps. As I said before, folks, it's a possibility. Or maybe this is an unknown new species. Or maybe this animal was a mutation or other such maybe freaks of nature. Maybe it was just, maybe it had basically been deformed by basically being in contact with something that gave it mange, or probably not mange, but something that did make it look odd. Maybe that's why he couldn't identify this animal. Either way, let's get back to the article. The animal stood about 3 feet tall and appeared unusually slim. The witness described long, thin legs that were off-white in color with distinct zebra-like striping running upward. The body was narrow and grayish, with an estimated weight of 60 to 70 pounds based on size and proportion. The head shape was particularly striking, described as a cross between a dog and a cat. The snout was short and feline in appearance, yet the overall profile could have passed as a very unusual canine. The ears were long, pointed, and tufted, resembling those of a lynx. The witness believes the tail was short and tufted, though he notes that time has softened some finer anatomical details, such as the appearance of the feet or paws. The witness and the animal maintained eye contact for approximately 20 to 30 seconds. During this time, the creature showed no aggression or fear. It then turned calmly and walked back into the forest, disappearing into the trees. The witness stated that he had never seen anything like it before or since. He expressed regret at not having a camera at the time, noting that the image of the animal remains clear in his mind even now. A Navy veteran from the Vietnam era and now in his late 70s, he emphasized that his life experience made the encounter particularly unsettling. He has not had a repeat sighting. I'm not surprised, folks. Most people do not. So, we can say this much. Maybe this animal was a mundane animal, just unidentifiable by this man, folks, because in a lot of accounts, when people basically see something strange like this, Bigfoot or even, UFOs, they can, at times, have other encounters with other weird phenomena. But this, it basically sounds like he encountered just a mundane animal, just an unknown, and very rare type of, animal, folks. Some unknown type of cat, or I guess maybe even canine, but we don't know for sure. Either way, certainly very stirring to learn about this particular cryptid, folks. But let's move on to the next article. Upright dog-like creature runs across road near Champaign, Illinois, leaving witnesses stunned. Yes, folks, let's get into this next Dogman account and hear exactly what stunned these experiencers so much. In August 2019, a late-night drive on the west side of Champaign, Illinois, turned into a moment of disbelief for 3 friends who encountered something that did not move like any known animal. The brief but vivid sighting involved speed, posture, and canine features that challenged conventional explanation. Similar reports from central Illinois suggest this was not an isolated event. On the night of August 19th, 2019, at approximately 10 o'clock p.m., the witness was driving with two friends on the west side of Champaign, traveling west on Curtis Road toward Interstate 57. Weather conditions were clear and warm with good visibility. As the vehicle approached an area bordered by tall brush, a creature suddenly ran across the roadway directly in front of them. The witness described the animal as larger than a dog but smaller than a deer, gray in color and extremely hairy. What immediately stood out was its dog-like face and features, combined with its running upright on its hind legs. So it sounds particularly like basically Hollywood's, depiction of werewolves, folks. So I am not surprised it matches so closely. It's even gray-furred like in many other accounts as well, folks. But was it really a werewolf, or was it something else entirely? Could it have been an extraterrestrial being? We'll talk about that a little more as we read through the rest of this article and wonder about the particular, merit of such signs, folks, and what they really describe. Could it have been also a tulpa? Maybe, folks. Because, the description of this particular dogman does remind me of another account with a dogman, but matched almost too closely the classic depiction of a werewolf, with the entity basically being described as wearing a plaid shirt and jeans. But the fact that this entity, doesn't so far seem to basically have those features, folks, is still rather interesting that it matches so closely these other accounts of both fictional and apparently real-life encounters with such, upright canine entities. But let's move on, folks, because we have a lot more to cover before we're through. The creature's speed was described as extraordinary. It moved with the quickness of a deer, far faster than any dog, and disappeared almost instantly into the tall brush along the roadside. All three occupants of the vehicle observed the event simultaneously. The driver stopped the car immediately after the sighting, reacting verbally in shock. For several moments, the group sat in silence, attempting to comprehend what they had just witnessed. The witness emphasized that the posture, speed, and canine appearance were clearly visible and could not be explained as those of a normal animal. Because they really aren't, folks. Normal animals don't move with this kind of speed. Then again, maybe the witnesses were a bit tipsy, perhaps. Were they drinking? So far, it doesn't look like that they were, folks, and that what they saw is indeed what they just basically were talking about, and what the witness here just said is exactly what happened. But it's possible that maybe they were mistaken. Fear can play an effect on people's minds, folks, maybe just as much as alcohol or basically even drugs, because maybe the fear basically made them see something. In reality, they couldn't comprehend what it was, folks. So they basically thought it was a dogman, and they basically equated it to basically just running off in fear of them, because maybe they didn't want to basically take into account that maybe this was maybe not so much an attack by it, but maybe it was sizing up the road and maybe people traveling along it, folks, for maybe an actual attack by it and others. Because remember, folks, it's been said that wolves, actual wolves, will basically circle you and then attack. Could this have been maybe, something that this entity was doing, folks? Maybe one of these people stopped, maybe even get out, maybe to try and investigate, and then it and others of its kind were going to basically, jump them and, take them, perhaps. We can't be for sure. Now, what about the first account we read today, folks, with this canine, or unknown dog-like entity, folks? We don't know what that was seen. It's been said that in the Appalachian Mountains, where that sign has took place, folks, other people have also seen such cat-like or, canine cryptids as well, folks, on four legs. As I said, folks, in that account, it sounds like it was an unknown type of animal that was seen, or maybe a misidentified animal that maybe was part of someone's collection, perhaps. Maybe a rich guy basically was in the illegal animal trade, and while I've gone to that quite a bit, folks, over the years, it is a rational explanation for what this witness saw that one night. Either way, both accounts are truly strange, folks, and they are truly out there. But now we're at the end, so please go subscribe to my YouTube channel. Read comics that are bad for you. You can use the YouTube link down below in descriptions or the chat to go subscribe to me. Now, please, everyone, hit that like button for me. Make sure you're still subscribed. Leave some comments down below. Hit that bell for notifications. Make sure to hit the part of the bell that'll give you all future notifications. And please, share this video out. I'm Chris Williams from the Scumdogs Kennel. Thank you all for joining me. I'll be back again tomorrow with another great video, so be sure to come back again then. Till next time, folks, I'll see you all again soon.